God bless the great state of Iowa.
We're all talking about the Iowa caucuses right now.
Less than 2 weeks till the Iowa caucuses.
The sprint to the finish in Iowa.
I hope I'm going to win Iowa.
But it's a small state with a population of 3 million people. So why do we care so much about it? New York Times reporter Trip Gabriel has been living in Des Moines for the past year to try and answer that question.
It's easy to kind of write off and dismiss what happens in Iowa. It's unrepresentative. The population is overwhelmingly white.
But because Iowa's the first state to vote, it gets the most media attention. And the media can create a lot of momentum for the candidates that win here.
There are not a tiny number of Iowans who wish, the spotlight were elsewhere.
This time of year is why you can't swing a dead cat without hitting somebody with press credentials, but the caucuses are really Iowa's date night with the rest of the country. This is the one time in 4 years that people actually come out here and pay a little attention.
Caucusing is when registered Democratic and Republican voters meet for a couple of hours to discuss the candidates and vote for their favorite.
It's kind of a pain in the neck to caucus, and so the folks who have turned out historically have been, I guess I call them like the activists, the party stalwarts.
I know a lot of people are complaining about the media. They complain about the calls. They're sick to death of the news. They'll be glad when it's over, but they're all still watching.
Some people tune it out, but many Iowans take the responsibility seriously.
You have to remember that a lot of business in Iowa has been traditionally done on a handshake, and you can tell an awful lot by shaking somebody's hand and looking them in the eye.
19 out of 20 people that you approach, will talk to you about politics. That can be in a coffee shop or a candidate's rally or standing at a mall.
Hi, Deborah. This is Louise Miner, and I'm calling from the Bernie Sanders campaign. She and her husband are both going to caucus for Hillary.
That's good to know.
No, it isn't.
In a way, caucus results show what the most impassioned voters are thinking. And this year, political junkies in Iowa are homing in on the candidates at the extremes.
I'm caucusing for Sanders as sort of an anti-establishment candidate.
Trump! 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 Trump!
I'm voting for Mr. Trump. He's not a politician. He's a get things done guy.
This is the most consequential Iowa race in the modern caucus histories. In both parties, there is a strong likelihood that a very anti-establishment candidate is likely to come out of Iowa.
The majority of Republican caucus goers are evangelical Christians.
So I'm a Bible-thumping, Harley-riding, devil-chasing, pistol-carrying son of God that's voting Republican this year. We want a person who's running our country, who's taking advice or at least being governed by the Lord Jesus Christ. I've never seen a Republican candidate in my lifetime not go after the evangelical vote in Iowa.
So a Republican who wins the evangelical vote here may gain an advantage in other states with large evangelical populations. The Iowa caucuses also make it clear when some candidates just aren't gaining any traction with voters. Many high-profile candidates have had to face reality after disappointing results in Iowa.
The argument is that, it does serve a very key role in winnowing the field of candidates. There's a saying that there are 3 tickets out of Iowa. In other words, the top 3 candidates will be viable, and everyone after that is kaput. So do Iowans have any special insights into the candidates that are running? I don't think they do, compared with others. What they have is the opportunity to be broadly and deeply exposed to these candidates.